So, silence, obviously, this is Mark Twain saying that, says the right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective uh, as a rightly timed pause, right? I wrote that twice. Said no word has ever been effective as a rightly timed pause. Because when you pause, the word seller is, this is important. Please think about it. Because when you pause, it's a message on its own. You're trying to say whatever I've just said or what I'm about to say is important. So quieten your mind. I'm about to say something, right? I'm about to drop a bullet. I'm about to drop a ball. So silence, it's a whole lot of message in itself. It doesn't have words, but it does have words. Because depending on when you go silent, what you're saying, what you said before you went silent, or what you're going to say after you said you went silent, that silent affects your message, right? It affects the delivery of a message, and it carries a whole lot of weight to it. And so silence is a language of its own, right? When I keep silent, depending on when I keep silent, it means something, So it's not something that we use anyhow. It's something that you have to use to communicate what you're trying to communicate. Like I say again, like as an amateur, all we're sharing here is the science to it. But as you communicate, you'll begin to find how to use it, where to use it. It comes by experience, right? All we're sharing here is what we call the science of it. Building the heart of it is a bit of creativity, depending on your audience, the message you're sharing, and the message you're sharing your audience and what you're trying to achieve, in the session you're into, right? So, like I said, silence can create different things. Again, it's like a spicing, as it were, to your message, right? So, so silence is golden, and you can use it to give weight to the message you're trying to give. And silence can come in different ways. It could be in the middle of your message, just a small pause. It could be one in which you want people to respond, maybe even to pray, or to or you want it to be sworn. You just cracked a joke and you're trying them to respond, maybe in terms of laughing or for them to get the joke or whatever. It's just like communicating to, even though in communication you're communicating to an audience, but it starts, you can parallel it to communicating to a fellow human being like you, right? Because at the end of the day, it's individuals that make up a crowd, and everybody's going to hear what you're saying, almost as if you're talking to one person, right? So when you're communicating to a crowd, you don't get lost after you're talking to a crowd. You're talking to individuals, right? So the same way you use silence if you're doing a one-on-one discussion, the same way you're going to use it for a crowd, because you're speaking to human beings, even though they're in a group, right? So that's important. So it's not about how long of the silence is. It's about using the right. It all depends on what you're trying to communicate, right? Some people make posts in their message for people to pray, for people to give praise, for people to just let it sink in. So the length it varies depending on what you're trying to achieve, right? So there's really no specific time you give to doing pauses in your message. Again, you're trying to get feedback from the audience. So it all depends on what you're reading, the feedback you're getting will determine how long or how short your silence might be, right? And yeah, so it's all a skill, right? First of all, the key fact is it has its power, but learning how to use it comes from experience. And we see a typical example here of Jesus Christ, right? When they brought that woman, would they say they caught in adultery to him, and he just went silent on them. Why? There was no seemingly good answer. Whatever answer he gave, it was a trap they set for him. So rather than him just jumping and entering into the trap, he gave them an answer of just being quiet, just kind of caught them unawares, right? And that gave him an opportunity to turn around the question they had for him, right? And that can be, and that's also important, when people come for counseling, is you don't want to be too fast, right, in responding, because it's better to say, give me some time to think about it, than say something out that doesn't make sense. That's probably not true. That might destroy someone's life. There's not a speed of response that's important. It's the ability to give the right counsel. Again, we'll say that direction is more important than speed. Being in the right direction, the right path is more important than how fast you're doing it. Because if you go fast on the wrong road, it doesn't matter if you get there early. The key thing is that you're not getting to the right place, right? So being able to say the right thing is more important than the speed by which you respond. So that can inform being quiet to meditate. Can be a seller. Someone's giving you something, you're supposed to counsel the person. You could just spend a minute or two to think about it before giving counsel or responding.